Appropriate notice has been given. If you would all please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have somebody?
If we could have our all-state band and choir.
Are they gonna?
Our members, all-state band and choir members, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now let's properly, should we properly announce them? We'll wait.
Oh, that
We'll
would,
wait.
they come down here.
Move to approve the agenda in the minutes of the March 14th and April 1st meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. We will now do the election of board officers. We need an election of the board president.
And that is me.
Yes, ma'am.
So the board shall elect a president, vice president, secretary, and legislative liaison at the first regular meeting following the latter of the certification of results of the annual school election. Or if there's a runoff, the first regularly scheduled meeting following the certification of results of a runoff election. Officers shall serve a one-year term and perform those duties as prescribed by the board. Is there a nomination for president?
I nominate Lisa House.
Second.
Well, thank you.
All in favor, or discussion? Okay. All in favor? Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
It's unanimous. And Ms. House? I'll
I
turn
guess
it
I'll
back over to
turn
you.
it back over. Thank you. We need to get a nomination for the vice president. I'd like to nominate Jason Schmesky. Is it a gladly nomination?
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome. I need a motion.
Need a second, actually.
A second. I'm the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Scott, thank you. All right, and we need a board secretary.
You got to vote.
Oh, all in favor? Unanimous. I guess I'm supposed to vote on that. And a board secretary, I'd like to nominate Scott Booth.
Second. Motion.
All in favor? Unanimous. All right, welcome, Scott.
Twice.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Dewey.
All right, it is now, as we usually do, we'll go ahead and not elect, but we will go ahead and choose committee appointments for the 24-25 school year. So I'm asking that there are a few meetings left in this year. If you all are comfortable doing so, staying with the appointments that you have, because I do know there are a few meetings scheduled. We have Ms. House on the Finance Committee. That is generally the board president. So with your blessing, we'll just leave that the same. We do have Ms. Horton on PPC, Mr. Chester on Curriculum, Mr. Booth on CPPC, Mr. Smackle is on TAC, Mr. Semesky on Technology, and Ms. Waymeyer, Mr. Waymeyer was PTO. That's for discussion, folks. Do we want to continue? Is there anybody that wants to serve on PPC, or would we like to keep Barbara there?
I'd like to keep Barbara there.
I do know she likes that.
She's not
even
here.
here to defend herself.
Sorry, Barbara. I would like to take a little moment of prayer for Barbara's husband. He's not having a
Very good day.
very good day at all, and we need to keep them lifted in prayer, if you don't mind, please. But now she's really going to be mad that she's still on PPC.
No, I don't think she'll be mad.
No, she loves
Ms.
that.
Dewey, who did Mr. Waymeyer have? What committee?
Mr. Waymeyer was actually PTO.
Okay.
I will tell you that Mr. Chester did express an interest of changing committees. So if there's somebody that would, if we want to do some switching around there, I have Mr. Chester on Curriculum. He would like to do something different. Are there one of you all that would be willing?
You would be great
Okay.
with curriculum.
All right, so we will go ahead and put
Molly.
Miss Morgan on Curriculum.
Thank you, Molly.
All right, Mr. Booth, CPPC, Mr. Smackle Tech, Mr. Smetsky Tech, and then we have PTO.
I guess we can give that to Bob.
Just swap the two.
We're just going to appoint everybody.
Okay, that's
If you're
fine.
not here, so look
It
out.
says appointed.
That's what happens.
Mr. Smetsky Tech,
Yeah, I'm good.
okay, Mr. Smackle Tech, Mr. Booth,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. If you're unable to attend, some of these. I know that we have some members that would be willing to just step in and be some ears on those committees. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And I do know our teachers really appreciate those of y'all that are able to make some of these meetings.
Okay. The hard part's away. We have reports and presentations from Miss Dewey for our 30 years of service recognition.
All right, as most of you all know, 30 years in education is a long time, and it is even better when the folks have been with us for 30 years. And so tonight, I would like to recognize some folks who aren't here, but I still do want to recognize them. Miss Sharon Belk, 30 years in the district. Miss Libby Kidd, I don't think I saw Miss Kidd, 30 years in the district. Miss Tammy Barnes, her neighbor in 2nd grade.
They're out at Sonic partying.
30 years in the district. Dr. Dana Brown.
Let me take your picture first.
I was going to say, there's no way she'll be able to tell all of them. She'll forget one. Because there's a million.
Well, I was a business teacher. I actually started my career in Cotter for a year. Mr. Hackler, he hired me. I was a business teacher. I then was the assistant principal for 2 years at the high school. I was the high school principal at Mount Home High School for 15 years. That's a long time. But you know, with the community and teachers and faculty, we redesigned the high school into the career academy model. That's near and dear to my heart. Then I was student services director, then federal programs, and under the umbrella of which you don't want to know all the jobs that
I was
go
going
with
to say,
that.
there were others. She's saying those two things, but
A compliance officer, you know, pretty much anything compliance was under my umbrella, and then assistant superintendent was where I left. So it's pretty cool.
Thanks, Dana.
and I can assure you, we miss, Dr. Brown did go ahead and retire in December, and we miss her every day, every single day. Mr. Rick Kaiser, would you come up here? Those of you that know Mr. Rick Kaiser know him as Mr. Rick. And he hasn't just been with the district 30 years. He's been with the district 32 years.
He doesn't even look that old.
Mr. Rick, you've been interpreter
Sign language interpreter
and,
and parapro.
I mean, and all, he has done it all in the special ed department. I don't know if, you all know that this is one of the most pleasant people you'll ever meet.
Yep.
Always a smile on his face, does whatever's asked. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That's always a good note. Well, follow that with our academic report. Ms. Dewey?
All right. I am so thankful that a couple of different things. I guess we're going to start with all state band and choir students. Ms. Russell, would you like to introduce your teachers who are here?
We have Tori Rudolph for vocal music. I just flew in last minute, so I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who's here.
All of your band instructors.
Okay, all of my band instructors stand up. I want them to come up and tell what they did this week.
Yeah.
So come up, Tom Shetton. Introduce your guys and tell us what you did.
Thanks. Yeah, I brought these guys because I know you guys get so busy and it's hard to get around. I want you to be able to put a name with their face. I'll just let them tell you who they are and what they do. So we'll start right here.
I'm Jonathan Hufford. I teach percussion 6 through 12 here.
John May. I do a couple beginner classes at Pinkston. I do AP Music Theory at the high school, music appreciation at the junior high, and then junior high band and assist with high school.
And
That's all.
I'm Alex Garcia. I do some of the 6th grade classes, 7th grade, and junior high, and I assist with the high school.
So we were, of course, here to introduce the All-State students, but yesterday we went to the state concert contest. My goal was to get a first division superior rating and earn the Distinguished Band Award for ones at state marching plus state concert, and lo and behold, these kids got first place overall. So we won the
overall,
state championship.
Big
We
deal.
are the honor band for next year, so we're the last group to perform. We get to do additional pieces, so it's because of great kids that we're going to introduce here in just a minute. And then we got a great staff of guys to work with. I know with Ms. Chetnick being out with some issues and hopefully back next week, these guys have just taken up the slack. Mr. May's been over to Hackler this week trying to get those 5th graders excited about signing up next year, and we've had to get classes covered, so I just appreciate the work that they're doing, and we've got some good ones that hopefully when I'm out of here in a few years, they can keep on going. So I know we got some new people to the board. The ASBOA is the Arkansas School Band and Orchestra Association. It functions over all the band programs. We're under the Arkansas Activities Association umbrella, so we follow all the guidelines for GPAs, all those types of things. The physicals now, we have to do physicals for marching band and all that kind of stuff. There are 9 regions for band in Arkansas. Our region goes from Mountain Home all the way over to Bentonville, so we compete our students against Bentonville West, Bentonville High School, the 2 Rogers High Schools. So these students work on lots of different music for their instruments. They learn 24 scales, 12 major, 12 minor. They go to a blind audition, and we had 14 students try out this year. 10 made the all-region band. There's about 350 that try out. And they go on a Friday, Saturday, they rehearse, and they put on a concert. Now, that's one of the great things about music. Dan can tell you from being in band, kids can be from different social, economical, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, but you can get them together. The common chord is literally is music, and you can sit them together and put them in a room, and they make magic, and it's just it's wonderful. And then from there, each region qualifies. The students perform the all-region, and then from there, they go to all-state. Each region sends approximately 100 students to that process, and there's, I think, about 1,000 students that try out.
wow.
So, and then they go to the Arkansas Music Conference where choir, orchestra, and band perform. So at this time, I have the students come up here, and they're going to introduce themselves and tell you what their grade and what they play.
Hello, I'm Landon Shirley. I'm a senior, and I play euphonium. And then this is my 2nd year at Allstate.
What's a phonium?
Congratulations.
It's like a smaller tuba.
Look at
kind
his
of.
shirt.
Okay.
It's the kiss the cat. And tell
Oh, I
them-
see. Okay.
Tell them your favorite part about Allstate.
I'd say like being with the people, meeting new people, especially other musicians, is very nice. And you can like talk about your musicianships.
Common.
Yeah, it's a common
Yeah,
ground.
that's nice.
I'm Emerson Walls. I play oboe. This is my 2nd time doing Allstate. I'm a junior as well. And my favorite part about Allstate is probably being able to go with a bunch of strangers that you've never played with before and play music that the crowd can feel as well as yourself, and just being able to put stuff together in that short of time.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Emerson is also the drum major of the band this year.
Oh, all right.
All right.
I'm Caden Casper. I'm a sophomore. This is my 1st year doing Allstate. I play percussion. My favorite part about it was probably that everyone who made it got a role. So even if they were like the last possible person at the cutoff, they still got to choose their role, and they still got to do something exciting in it.
What a great first year, huh?
Yeah.
Makes you want to come back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Craig Partee, senior in high school. I am in percussion, and I think my favorite part of Allstate is working with people who love music as much as you do, just enough where you can pull it together and make something absolutely magical come out in those practices and performances. It's amazing.
So Cragen's going to Arkansas Tech next fall. He has a scholarship to be in the band, going to be a music major. Landon's going to the University of Central Arkansas. He has a scholarship to be in the band. So, and these others will, I'm sure, to follow. So we have our end of the year concert coming up on the 28th. We'll be doing all music that we didn't do in the States. That'll be at the Shed on the 28th of April at 2:30. Love to have you come out, and then I presented you with invitations. We'd love to have you come to our band awards dinner. On the 27th, we'll recognize these students and all of our students for their accomplishments this year. So we do thank you for your support of music education in our schools. It's a very important part of the curriculum and being a well-rounded child, and it's just great students. And yesterday was just like the thrill. I mean, that ranks up there, when we went to Macy's in 2006, or some of the other things that we've been awarded and received. It was just awesome to do that. And I always tell them we don't really shoot for awards. We shoot for doing the best you can possibly do, and then you just see how it comes out. You never know, and so it's just amazing. It's what keeps you guys know it's tough in education, and things change all the time, and kind of gets you bogged down. But you go to see them every day, and it gets you fired up and ready to go for some more. Probably not 30 more, but we'll
5.
We'll see.
Thanks, Tom.
Ms. Rudolph? Sorry, I didn't let you speak long ago.
No, that's okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for having us here tonight again, and we appreciate your support for music in the schools. Mr. Chetnick gave you kind of an overview of how the band works. Choir is very similar in that it is an individual competition, and it actually starts all the way back in October when they audition for the all-region choirs. So we are also under the AAA umbrella, and we have the ARC-CDA, Arkansas Choral Directors Association, that puts on these events for us. And we have our students audition for the all-region choir. We have about 13 make the all-region choir this year. Only the top 20 chairs from each voice part get a chance to audition for the all-state choir. Reagan, I was believe 13th chair in all-region this year, and then auditioned for the all-state choir. Again, we have about 6 regions in the state. Each of them sends their top 20 chairs, so about 120 people per part that are auditioning.
Wow.
So she made first chair in the soprano-alto group at all-state.
Soprano, wow.
First chair. So we were very, very proud of her. Really, really hard worker. My choir president over here. I'll let her introduce herself.
Yeah, I'm Reagan Hawkins. This was my 3rd year at All-State, and I'm an alto too. And I mean, my favorite thing, All-State is just the thing that I look forward to most, like every year. It's the thing that I've enjoyed being able to do the most, like over my high school years, because I'm a senior. And my favorite part of it is just, being in a room full of kids who are just as passionate and have worked just as hard as I have. It's a really incredible experience.
Where are you going to go?
Mississippi College
Oh.
has offered me some money to study vocal performance. So
Have we thought about The Voice? Maybe? I kind of know somebody. Maybe we can get you on there. Thank you for all you've done. Congratulations.
This will encompass both the singing and the band, but we went to Beauty and the Beast last week in Bomber Theater's Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Phenomenal performance from you, from the band, the orchestra. The band was the orchestra, blown away. Like everyone in the audience, everyone I've talked to, my children, all the way to Graham, everybody loved it, so well done.
I'm still got the tunes in my head. Even the awkward transitions. And then Miss Rudolph tomorrow, choir gets to go to state down at UCA. So there's
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, we'll be taking 2 choirs this year, which is really, really, really exciting. Concert choir gets a chance to go this year, and again, Reagan's coming with me. So I'm very, very proud of all of our students. We also had another one of our band students. They actually have to choose between band and choir, unfortunately. Emerson Walls, so if you'll stand and we can recognize you, also made 11th chair in the all-state choir.
Wow.
So she chose to do the band side of things. But thank you so much again for having us, and we're looking forward to state tomorrow. And our spring concert will be on May 2nd this year, on Thursday, if you'd like to come at Dunbar Auditorium.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, Miss Russell, come on and beat that, because
I never want to follow up kids.
I know,
I'm glad
especially.
you said that about Beauty and the Beast. It was amazing.
It was well done.
I forgot at times that we had, I got so into the music, I forgot there was an actual band over there to the side playing. So if you missed it, you need to try to.
Such talent.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I get to talk to you about something really awesome, and it's just short and sweet, but we got our preliminary ACT scores back, and this does not include the kids who tested just a few weeks ago, like last week, for our makeup exam. But this is our preliminary data, and we did really well. So we beat our score. Go to the next Okay, so this is our 3-year data, and we're almost a point above. It's hard to tell from this because it's a bar graph, but we are almost a point above. Our goal as a building was 19. We set a goal, we worked really hard, we brought boot camp back, and we worked really hard as a building just to encourage our kids, and they brought it. So we're really excited. We were almost a point up higher in reading. In every area, we increased our score from last year. So
what is our preliminary score?
our preliminary score, I didn't bring my glasses, hang on a second, is a 20.3.
Up from last year's 19.
It was a 19.6, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and we're expecting, our kids who makeup tested, we're expecting that score to go up. So when we get our final results, you'll hear from me again this summer when we get our final score report.
Great. That's
So-
good news.
Do our
So-
students
Great
only
news.
take it one time? Do they have the opportunity to take it a second time if they're unhappy?
So
with the
this
score?
is this is our state scores so far, but yes, I think, and again, this is, sometimes they change the rules on us
Sure, okay.
as we go, but I think it will be all of our scores, like from this class, that we not contabulate, that's not a real word, but.
It sounds good, though.
Sometimes I make it.
Sounded good, yeah.
Worked for me.
We're genius.
We believed you.
Well, don't, because I don't think that's real. I was a science teacher, so.
Sell it, girl, sell it.
But I think it will be like all of our kids, juniors that test, like whether they take it, we give it, every time ACT offers it. So I think they will take all of that into consideration. But from what I understand, this is just our kids who took the state test. So when I come back to you this summer, we'll have all of that.
Okay.
And we'll see where we are. But we really, that boot camp, our teachers, we hit the kids pretty hard with test taking strategies and then instruction in all the areas, and the kids showed up and did it, so we were proud of them.
Yeah, showing up to take that test cold. Yeah, so it's knowing what they're getting into, what's going to be expected.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so that work shows off. So.
Absolutely, and we gave the work keys, so we're gonna have some data on that for you. I think y'all have seen some of it, but we're gonna have those final, because we gave another round of that
Oh, wow.
also. And so, last time we told you we had 1 platinum, we're up to 2 platinum students, which is the highest score
Wow.
that you can make.
Well, there.
So, we're getting some of that preliminary data back as well. So, we're excited, and we wanted to share that today.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
work.
for all your hard work. All right, Ms. Cotter, lay it on us with financial reports after that. We're on a high now. We're zooming.
Now let's get to the business.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We'll start with page 2B, the statement of changes in fund balance for the month. Oh, hang on. One thing. I wanted to introduce you to Donna Harper so that you could put a face with a name.
Welcome, Donna Harper.
Yes.
Donna.
I'm about to
We
go through
hired
my
you.
routine and forgot. Anyway, I wanted you to be able to put a face with a name, and she is just doing a great job and fitting in wonderful with our team, so we're happy to have her in the finance department.
Fantastic.
Welcome. Thanks for coming
Glad you're
tonight.
here.
Do you want to say a few words? You can.
A woman of very few words.
Okay, back to where I was, sorry about that.
That's okay.
For the statement of changes in fund balance for the month ending March 31st of 2024, we ended the month with $15,500,969.02. To highlight a couple of points on our report, Fund 2220 we paid out the National Board Certified Teacher bonuses that come in from the State Department for our National Board Certified teachers that qualify. Also, we have in Fund 6830, that was our HIT grant that you gave us the blessing on for that application. And we received that grant, and we made our first payment on those contracted tutoring services for $179,922.88.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
All right.
Next.
All right. Next on page 2B1, It's the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance for the month ending March 31st, 2024. We had total revenues of $2,626,307.71, with total expenditures of $5,481,922.36. And as I mentioned last month, we have halted our spending except for just the necessities that we need for finishing out the rest of the year. So we asked, and I did put a cutoff date a few weeks earlier than I typically have. So that's a result of that.
Any questions for Ms. Dewey so far?
No.
All right. I mean, sorry.
But you can ask.
Yeah, any questions for you? Thank you.
On page 2B2, we have the monthly operating fund balance tracking of funds 1, 2, and 4 combined. We ended the month of March with $8,724,065.26. Then the next page, we have our statement of changes in our activity funds, and we ended the month of March with all funds combined at $555,027.95.
Winding it down, aren't we?
We are. And in the following pages, the next 3 pages behind the activity report is the board report that's utilized to create these spreadsheets for you, and following that is the check register for all the checks written in the month of March.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Cotter? Okay. Anything else for us, ma'am?
No.
All right. Student transfer update, Ms. Dewey.
We have one student that has transferred in. We had no students transfer out in
That's
the month of March. Cool thing about this kiddo, he's actually been ours for a long time from Norfolk. Wants to graduate as a Mountain Home student. He's been at
Great.
Guyberry.
We'll
So
take
he
him.
went ahead and transferred in right at the end, and we'll get to walk with his people.
Great.
Pretty cool.
I love it. Welcome back. All right. Mr. Knight.
Not yet.
Nope, sorry. Wow. What
A
happened?
lot going on.
Where are we going? We got things moved around.
Okay, so
The report, yeah.
we finished, as of this report, which was on Monday, 3,817 students, right about where we thought we'd be, about 30 down from this time last year.
Pizza. Okay. Now, Mr. Knight, facility project update.
So I know we talked a lot yesterday, but right before I got here, we did get that final report from the fire engineer. I didn't have a chance to read it. Got it today, attached it on here, and it was exactly like what we thought it was going to be. Basically, you should put sprinklers in there, but you can't. Here are the things I recommend: lights, more lights, bigger walkways, and then the standpipes system for them. I think after we talked about that last time, we talked about that there was probably a need for like a multiple hundreds of $1,000s pump. I spoke with the fire marshal, and he said we don't need that, but they can hook the fire truck right up to it. So hopefully this won't be too terrible a project. I think between this and then the smoke detector that's done up there, that should cover us for our first year, proving to the state that we're making progress.
Very good.
And then we'll get started on this. And then I just went ahead, I know we talked a lot about roofs, so I went ahead and attached the roofing reports I have. I will say that if you look through those, they are from a roofing company that wants our business, so it was a free service to come in here. But that's just, I think there's just 5 of them, but you guys can look on your own, and what you'll see is estimated replacement dates. And I think the longest one in that one, farthest one off, is like 2031 or 2032. So they're, like I said, that's the one that keeps me up at night.
Yeah,
So 5 roofs in the next 7 years.
Yeah, we'll try to stretch them as much as we can. I mean, that's not really possible. But
Right.
the good thing is they're graded, A, B, C, D, just like, and you can look at, I think Iberry, they actually estimated 2027, which puts us really close, because we'll have hopefully some funding for it next year. Take a year to get it going, so that'll be right on task. The one that was very interesting is, I didn't think was as bad as it was actually, and it is our worst roof, is the ag building at the high school. And you watch it was good, it's got pictures of everything, so explain what's up there.
Very good. Any questions?
All right, thanks.
Spaghetti dinner,
A lot of spaghetti dinners.
pancakes, spaghetti. Okay. First read on handbooks and procedure manuals.
Okay, each one of you has received an email with that document. As I talked to you, I think I've talked to most of you about, those documents are still in process. Before they come to you for discussion next month, they are still working on those.
Do we have to approve it next month for print
No.
in June?
Next month will be the second read.
And then June?
Because if they need to make changes, the third read, 1st of June. You know, we don't print very many anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's really not as big a time crunch. We need them by July 1, of course, but if we can get those approved in June, we're good.
Okay. Any questions on the email sent? Board action items. Ms. Cotter, request to approve the 24-25 school level improvement plans. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations.
Each year in April, we bring the school level improvement plans to the board for approval. Arkansas Code annotated 6/15/2914 establishes a timeline for school level improvement plans. So a public school shall submit to its public school district a school level improvement plan for approval by the public school district and public school district board of directors for implementation in the following year. School level improvement plans shall be posted on the public schools district website by May 1st of each year, and the school level improvement plan shall be monitored by the public school district for implementation, fidelity, and progress throughout the year, and evaluated annually by the public school district for the goals, progress, and accomplishments. Each school is required to develop their plans, and we have attached or linked their plans in the board action tonight. If you just want to click on one, Ms. Kelly, you can click on kindergarten. Each plan should utilize a continuous cycle of inquiry with the plan do check method, and each plan has 3 to 4 goals with action steps, and the action steps for the evaluation of the goals. So tonight, the recommendation is that Mountain Home Public School Board of Education approve the school level improvement plans for the 24-25 school year as presented.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the 24-25 school level improvement plans as presented.
A second?
Second.
Daniel?
Sorry.
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous?
There's a lot of work that goes into this, so thank
Thank
you.
you.
And all the building administrators and teachers.
They do a great job coordinating it, really do.
Request to approve the fiscal year 24 budget adjustment.
Last month, I brought budget adjustments to you for several funds, and since that time, we have had final allocations in the special ed, from the special ed budgets. And also, I found an adjustment we needed to make for the CSP grant in Fund 6561. So tonight, I'm bringing those adjustments to you and asking that you approve the attached budget amendments for the 23-24 school year.
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation as presented.
The motion, Jason, second. Thanks, Bob. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Request to approve related party disclosure.
As part of Arkansas Act 1599. It requires school districts to make known to the public any potential transactions with related parties. So tonight, I am bringing one forward, and that's Tom Miller for mowing services. And noted in the resolution is for that amount not to exceed $2,000. So I'm asking that the board approve the resolution to do business with this vendor.
Make a motion to approve to do business with Mr. Miller.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Thank you.
I do have several more like questions. I think we just got all of our mowing services bid out, did we not?
We did bid some out. Can I
We
ask
bid,
Mr. Knight?
not all, we bid out Hackler and Nelson Wilkes. And Mr. Knight, I don't know if you want to speak to any of that.
But kind of to do an balance, and you guys did a good job, it was more effective for us to hire somebody to do that, is that?
Possibly.
Can we not replace
That would be up to you all.
Possibly.
That's not been on personally yet, and I haven't recommended somebody or found that person yet, if that's the way we wanted to go. But the price, the lowest bidder to do just Hackler and Nelson Wilkes was very close to full-time employee.
Wow.
So this in particular though, Chris, this contract.
Just the central office.
Just central office.
And that being because, he just retired here, this was his area. So, and also, to be honest, I would, love to convince him and hope he's lonely in retirement and would.
Come back.
Back to work.
Well, I have compassion for all that. I mean, and I'm not saying it's a bad price either. That's not even the issue. But if we're hiring somebody potentially to do the mowing, why don't they do all the mowing? And not to mention the optics of having to vote on this for somebody in-house versus having, and this wasn't put out for bid either.
No, this was underneath the amount that would need to be bid.
Well, I understand that. So again, I don't really have a problem with the person mowing it for sure, or the situation, but we're looking for every penny we can. When you told us last night that we do not have enough money to maintain our facilities over the long haul here. So every $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 will add up at some point. So I have a general concern about why don't we just mow it ourselves?
I can also tell you that as of this moment, we are short 2 maintenance staff. And just
Say
keeping
that
up,
again, please.
we're short right now 2 in maintenance.
Okay.
And we won't even be able to keep up anything.
Well, I want Disney World groundskeeping. That's not the issue. I want us to look good. And if you need 2 people, we'll address that too. I'm just looking at the bigger picture. Concern, not a.
And this is a contracted service, so it's when we need it. It's not
It's not
necess-
yearly, all
No.
year long.
No.
It's
It's-
only.
I mean, if he finds.
White height, we need it cut.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
If-
ultimately what we need to do.
If he finds somebody though, this could not be done.
It's a temporary
Stop
thing.
gap,
It fills a
kinda.
void. If he doesn't have the man, the grass isn't gonna stop growing, but if his men are on other jobs and we need to bring somebody in, we've got something in place to have that done so that people can still see the building.
Which
This
is
for-
probably less expensive than.
So this is
bidding
for
it.
an as-needed basis, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, it's not permanent.
We're hiring this guy to do this
Permanent.
grass, it's
It'll be, this
approving
would
this
be the
resolution,
area.
so if we need extra help, we can go to him to get the extra help, is that my understanding?
You have permission to do business with it.
Correct.
And I would point out that our related party disclosures are on a 2-year cycle. And no matter how long, how short, I keep them on that cycle. So if you notice the date on this resolution, it's through June 30th. Then I will be bringing back the contract resolutions for 2024 through 2026 that we're aware of. And each year I'm continuing to bring some to you as we learn about it, or some employees' circumstance changes where they now need to disclose something. So, if you approve this tonight, this is through June 30th, and then based on the board's pleasure, could be or could not be on the next fiscal year starting July 1.
And we'd have to vote on that. We'd have to do another one to start July 1.
Yes. Even if this is just for a month or two, I keep them on that cycle.
Does this one require commissioner approval?
It does not.
No.
Okay. So
It's
he
under the
could
limit.
start tomorrow if it need to be.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right, it's under-
Okay. Any other questions or discussion?
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
everyone knew
You're
that this
welcome.
was the situation.
Good
You're
point.
welcome.
Transparency. Very good. Do I have a motion? Well,
You already have
all
a
in
motion.
favor?
Yeah. We don't need a
All in
motion.
favor? Unanimous. Ms. Carter, you might as well just stay up there. Request to approve furniture, nope, we're at furniture purchases.
Nope.
Nope, contracted service agreements. I'm sorry, y'all, we've got
Mhm.
half of the alphabet to do.
Okay. I believe for this particular individual, you have approved a contracted service early on. That contracted service was prior to us knowing about the HIT grant. And so that particular contract service was written for dyslexia, and we felt like for transparency purposes, we needed to bring back another one because this is going to address the high impact tutoring and not necessarily a student with dyslexia. So tonight I'm asking that you approve to do for the academic service agreement with Kay Hollingsworth for high impact tutoring. And Ms. Hollingsworth is a retired Mountain Home Public School teacher, so she's a licensed teacher.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contracted services agreement as presented.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Jason, thank you. Discussion? Questions? All in favor? Unanimous? Thank you. Request to approve furniture purchases, number 1.
E.
Let's go backwards.
Okay.
CSP grant.
Yes. In the spring of 2022, Guy College and Career Academy was awarded a 3-year charter schools program reimbursable grant in the amount of $1,250,000. This is a sub-grant through Arkansas Public School Resource Center, and we refer to the grant as the CSP grant. It's in its final year, and the funds will sunset in September of 2024, and we still have quite a few funds that we are using. So tonight, I'm asking for you to approve the purchase of furniture from bidder number 1, and that in the amount of $36,379.62, and that is for tables, chairs, and stools for Guy College and Career Academy.
Just Guy Berry.
That's all. Just Guy
Right,
Berry,
okay.
and it's coming from their grant.
Their grant.
It's the only place that can be spent, period.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
And this grant is a use it or lose it, right? So come September 1st, or come September, any funds that are unused, they go away.
That's right.
No
So we have
rollover.
We have 5 months to finish spending out that balance. Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation.
Second.
Motion, Jason, second. Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Request to approve furniture purchase number 2 with the CSP grant.
Because we were looking at some different types of furniture, we went ahead and split our sealed bids to ask for the stools and chairs and things that you just approved. And so this sealed bid was for mobile storage cabinets to be utilized by the teachers in the classrooms. And it's also to be utilized to utilize the funds from the CSP grant. So we're asking that the board approve the furniture purchase from bidder number 1 in the amount of $56,690.01.
Make a motion to approve the furniture is.
The motion and need a second. Molly, thank you. Any discussion?
Once again, these are those same
These are
funds,
same
correct?
funds.
This is still, and this is
Same.
Fund 6561, if you wanna look at it on the board report.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Request to approve equipment purchase, straight CSP grant.
Again, this is a continuation of requesting for purchases through this grant for Guyberry College and Career Academy. The purpose of the sub-grant, of course, is to assist charter schools in the planning and the implementation phases of the charter school. According to the grant guidelines, the purchase must be reasonable, necessary, and allowable. And Guyberry College and Career Academy is seeking to enhance its marine manufacturing program with the purchase of a gel coat equipment from Magnum Venus Products. Also, I believe there, as part of that, is called a CHOP system. You might can speak to that, what that involves.
Chop and fiberglass.
Okay.
I did that at Ranger.
Originally, we were going to put out for sealed bids for this one, but then we realized that Magnum Venus Products was the manufacturer, and they provided us with the sole source letter, which would allow us to buy directly from the manufacturer. Mr. Rose has done a really great job reaching out to other vendors to see if it's even possible to get it cheaper from somewhere else, and I believe his results were if you can get it from the manufacturer,
You can't get
probably
it
need to
cheaper.
do that.
Yeah.
So tonight, we're asking that the board approve these two systems for purchase with the grant from the CSP grant in the amount of $29,902.60, plus there would be tax, freight, and insurance on that shipment.
Is that included in that 29,000?
It's in addition to.
Plus
Okay.
tax.
I was gonna say, what is the freight gonna be on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the equipment purchase using the CSP grant as presented.
Motion?
Second.
Second, Jason. Any discussion besides freight costs?
Yeah, so I asked a question about this, and my understanding, this is the same equipment that ASU uses. So our students are gonna come here, they're gonna learn on this, and it'll be an easy transition to continue and further that training over at ASU. So, it makes sense to me to say, hey, let's use this one and do it as a sole source, since that's the place we can get it, so. For transparency, yep, that's why we're doing that as a sole source.
Thank you.
Well, it stays fluid too throughout the whole. Very good. All in favor? Oh, more discussion.
Well, you'll have to indulge me for just a minute, because this is my subject. Full disclosure, I will hire a qualified person from the school. So I have a vested interest in seeing it succeed. We did talk about it. I'm not gonna ask you questions about how the gun works or what it's for, or any of these other questions.
Good, because I couldn't answer that.
I don't use that brand. The first thing I ask you is why we're using that. What was our other ones? Why are we not being consistent? What other companies use that brand? I don't care what the college uses, but who do we place people in? I'll condense it as quick as I can, but I'm gonna use it as a teaching opportunity. We talked about the manufacturer selling it. That confused me, because with the manufacturer being the source, if they were legitimate, there's gonna be a retail price, and I mentioned that you could probably get it cheaper from the vendor. Now, if we're gonna get it from and we have this equipment already, they have it, you need to be trained on something, and there's multiple different companies that do it. But we need to be consistent on what we do, because it does have consumable products on it. I mean, make this story real quick. I came out of retirement because our place is so jacked up that somebody needed to fix it. When Ranger condensed all of the boat companies, had all of the equipment. I bought for $500, $30,000 worth of good equipment with parts left over in binks, and had to take them apart and make them anew. To service that equipment, it's a $150 an hour job. I would gladly pay an hour to have a catalyst pump repaired in Springfield, but somebody needs to know what they're doing. You can't pay 4 hours for an hour job. So we can train our students on that equipment. But I came back, I had all this equipment running good, and we had somebody in there that tore up the equipment. Convinced our new management we needed new equipment, and had the new equipment tore up in 6 months. So we need to maintain the equipment. So within the Venus, I'm just giving you a broad picture of what we got here. Venus should, if we're gonna allow Coke in our cafeteria, Pepsi wants their Coke, their machine in the cafeteria. We could probably get money from either one of them. We probably don't have either and don't do that. This manufacturing company would love to have people trained on that gun, because when they go somewhere, that's gonna be what they know. That's gonna be the brand that they love. How is this company gonna help us? We're a school, we're training people on that. You know, we can't negotiate the price because they really don't have a dealer network. You go direct to them. Are we buying the consumables that we need? You know, let's get that in the package so that in 6 months from now, if we don't take care of the gun and it's junk, well, I don't want to hear to the board, because a little piece on the gun is a couple $100. This little piece is $500. It's not cheap.
Can you click on the Magnum Venus products that had more details?
But let's ask the manufacturer to come train us. That's only reasonable.
Is it this product or is this equipment?
Being that I work for a manufacturer that creates products, we would love, you know, that is my job. My job, I work for a fire alarm corporation, Kidda Corporation, who builds fire alarm equipment. We do, and all manufacturers usually have somebody that will come out and train you and would love to train you, and they could actually use you as a demo to show other schools or other people how that works. They have people in place. We may want to talk to one of their representatives, because that's what I do. That's my job. I go around the country and I teach people on how to use it, how it works, and we do put them in schools and use them as demos, different things like that. So we may need to call, because also going through the manufacturer, you probably need to talk about getting a discount from them, because they'll usually give you up to 15%. I've worked for 7 different manufacturers, and if you directly call them, instead of losing your business, they'd be glad to probably give you at least 10% off of anything like that.
So is there a track here that you mentioned ASU is the same equipment? I know they work with the boat manufacturers, and I kind of feel like that's a little bit in this. It's a fluid motion from school to employment, and I understand what you're saying, but I think if you look at the boat manufacturers in the area, there's a large amount of employment opportunities, and I suspected this was on that track.
No,
Was
absolutely.
to get from, well, that might be why this particular equipment would be good. If ASU has it, I know they talk a lot with the boat manufacturers, so it would be a fluid motion. I suspect that's a little
Oh,
bit.
absolutely. I'm on an advisory board at
Yes.
the college. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
There's a communication. What equipment you use is not even the issue I'm talking about here. The issue is, let's negotiate.
Whatever's in, yeah.
Let's get something in this. Let's not forget to get the extra parts. We can spend the money on something else, and I'll finish it this way, in the nicest way I can. We bought some really nice equipment from the Clifton Public Schools at pennies on the dollar. They got a grant, did their thing. Okay, we fulfilled the terms of the grant, and I got some good equipment. I'd hate to have to be buying this stuff at Walker Auction for pennies on the dollar in a couple of years. I would much rather have got a good quality employee from the Clifton schools that could use the equipment that we bought to put in our facility. We have a spray booth on our high school campus. I mean, you don't get the answer, but when is the last time we've used it? costs a lot of money. The quality's great because I looked at it. Let's be functional with our equipment. Let's give, whether we send them to the tech school, which is fine, for more training, or we send them directly into the industrial world, whichever the course is. Whether teach them how to do the thing, we can do a lot with the equipment, but let's get the best value out of it. I sell an automotive product as a teaching tool to schools all over the country. They get grant money, they don't care. They just spend the money. Easy sale. I'll help you write the grant. I mean, let's not, just because we got money, spend it.
We don't have money, so.
Well, we have 1.2 million.
We have the grant money.
We gotta spend.
Mr. Rose is not here to speak
Yep.
to this tonight. He's with his daughter. So I'm not going to be able to answer exactly the phone calls that he made.
He made I gave him some, he made
Okay.
good follow-up on you.
I'm not taking it personal.
One of the things that we could look at is if the board did decide to go ahead and purchase this tonight, at the replacement, we could look for replacement part possibilities.
Extra.
And make some phone calls to see about some training on site. I can commit to checking into that or having Mr. Rose and report back.
And it may already be in the works.
It may be. He literally drove the bus for a softball game with his daughter's on the team, but he was helping them out tonight.
Here's a couple other points, and this is to Mr. Chester's point, where Venus could say, hey, so we have these students entering the workforce, and hey, they've been trained at our school, they've been trained at ASU, they're entering the workforce. Local boat manufacturer needs to purchase more equipment. They say, we have this feed of students coming in that are already trained on this equipment. Would it make sense for them to then buy that same equipment because they've already got a workforce that's trained on that specific equipment? So that goes to the negotiating with Venus where, hey, can we make a better deal because we're working hand in hand with ASU to provide a seamless product where these folks entering the workforce are already trained on this. One of these boat manufacturers may continue or buy more of their equipment because of that. So I certainly can see that point. You know, the flip side of what I said of having that seam line where we're using it, ASU's using the same thing, is if we use something different than ASU, that these students, as they enter the workforce and start marketing themselves to the workforce, they can say, I've been trained on this and I've been trained on this as they go to the different boat manufacturers. I don't know gel coating equipment at all. Would that be a beneficial thing for them?
Consistency in product through we're training that way because you can use a gel gun to chop with, but you can't use a chopper pump to gel with. You know, it's the same interchangeable parts. We don't have to service multiple guns, and if we don't service it properly, we'll have a gun that we can't use. So consistency, and you answered that question when I brought it up. I asked her the same question you just did. Don't we want the same product? Yes, absolutely.
Well, would there be any advantage to using different products where our students get familiar with one product here, they go to ASU, they get familiar with a different product? Would that help them market themselves to the workforce saying, I'm fluent on both or not?
Personally, I got 6 or 7 junk guns out back. I'd be glad to donate. Why don't we take those and see if we can get parts for them and teach them how to fix them? I don't know, but there needs to be curriculum around it and all that.
So what is your?
It's too expensive to buy 2, I think. I don't know.
What's your? ASU uses one. If we use a different one, so they learn brand A or brand B here, they go to ASU, then they learn Venus. So now they've entered the workforce, leaving ASU, and they've used 2 different brands, 2 different styles, 2 different manufacturers.
We need 2 different guns, and they need to be the same brand.
Okay.
It's also a certification piece. You can get ahead on your certifications. And I don't know. I'm not acting like I have knowledge on this, but sometimes some of your classes that you take here, when it transfers into ASU, you're actually further down the pike, and so you can get out in a semester with some type of certification.
So it'll do better for our students to use the same equipment here as ASU, vice a different equipment, or doesn't. Yeah.
So should we table?
There's a big difference between an industry certification and a diploma.
Yes, there is.
There is or no?
I'm talking about certification.
Did we motion?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because this is our discussion.
I'm well aware of that,
Okay.
yes.
Bob, did you say that and this is where my ignorance is going to come out, you have to have the same, it's consumable, like, you have to have a certain type of chalk
For a certain
for a
gun.
certain gun.
There's a roller that wears out. There's
Okay.
razor blades that wear out. There's seals that wear out.
So they don't work together, is what you're
They
saying.
don't work all together if you're not gonna have a good day if your gun ain't working right.
Well, I
And
mean,
if it ain't working at all,
Okay, I'm
we're stuck.
confused. Are you wanting us not to buy this type of
No, I'm
equipment?
not opposing this
Or
at
are you
all.
wanting us to add something else to the
I wanna
purchase?
ask for
I'm
more.
very
You
confused.
don't get it unless you ask. I'm just saying ask.
Okay.
so you
We
want,
did a motion 2 years ago, I think, on a music something or another. You brought it to us, we said we accepted. I think you reworded it and said, go back and ask for more, and they did give us something.
Oh,
yeah, the band.
Quaver, the Quaver program, the
Mhm.
computer program online, for the music curriculum that we were using K6. We needed to get a better price.
So we have time before September, so if we said no to this tonight, can we go ask and see if we can get a better deal and then vote on it next month? Does that
What
still
is
give us
our-
time?
They're
or-
12 to 14 weeks out.
If we don't have them, here's where we get a little,
Mm.
gets a
You
little
gotta-
ticky.
You only pay when you get it, right? So,
Well,
Well,
and do we know how much we're saving by going here? That would be the big question.
Dustin's not here to tell us. He
Yes,
had
I mean,
numbers.
that's the question.
He had some
Yeah.
numbers. Some of these grants, you have to have the item in hand before the funds sunset. That's where we get into a little bit of a pickle.
I don't wanna hold this up.
Well,
Personally, I think we could pass it, but still.
You
say
have
ask
questions.
Before we give them the money, ask for more.
Ms. Cotter, what's the balance gonna be on this grant when we get done with these purchases? Are we gonna use all of the grant and need more, or are we still gonna have a little left over that we send home? Because if we still have some left over, we're quabbling over something that doesn't really matter.
They have about $742,000 that is remaining at this point.
We are trying to spend. We don't have our bus here
yeah.
that
the
they
bus
ordered.
will be-
We
It's
have, a
but
bus
it's-
is encumbered.
It's
as part of
encumbered,
that.
though.
That would come from that, and it's a little over 100,000.
So we don't really need to scrimp to save to get another purchase on. We're gonna have leftover, is what it's looking like.
Yes.
So,
So we could always ask for more from this company, or
We could.
if something else is not more important, then,
Can we get spare parts with it too?
yeah.
I mean, we could even ask, I feel like that the next step would be, if you decide to pass this, would be to bring back something next month with spare parts.
yeah,
Yes.
it's kinda like the simulators. Hey,
Yes.
buy spare parts. so we can-
Pedals,
yeah.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
And training. I had that on my list, too.
Okay, so we will
Training's
ask
a big one.
I've got that on my
Yes.
list.
training and hefty discount,
A discount.
any discount.
And they could discount it
Mhm.
when we call.
3%.
But this would be the max number.
Freight free might be nice. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. All right. Thank you, Ms. Cotter.
You're welcome.
Mr. Steve Mendeleski, request to approve Promethean panel purchase.
No, we're done.
Hello.
Hello.
Past couple of years, we've started putting some of the interactive touch panels in. Promethean is a brand. There's several different brands out there. And we've had good results with them. We've got about 15 of them in place. So we budgeted for kind of another larger handful of them this year. Decided to roll those out to junior high and high school math and science rooms, which typically have sometimes more interactive. Math department really likes them because they can, interact on the board. The students can come up and interact, and so we did sealed bids on those. We had two people submit bids, and I would recommend to approve
Big
bidder
difference.
number one for the sealed bid amount of $77,527.84.
Make a motion to accept the recommendation as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second from
Can I ask
Bob.
a question?
Discussion?
Before you what I'm saying?
Discussion.
Discussion.
This is also done with funds that were from the federal?
Yes.
From the million.
Okay, I just want to make sure,
Yes.
make sure. Okay. All right,
Title I
a second.
allocation.
Bob already did.
Oh, sorry.
Why the difference in the bids?
Big difference.
Preferred vendor status, which is kind of how a lot of the technology items work. So if you work with a vendor, with Dell or Promethean or Hewlett Packard, they can grab what's kind of called a preferred status, which means they can cut 10 to 15% off the top. And it helps the vendor to get a customer's business. It's also kind of, it can be bad sometimes because other vendors don't get a chance because they can't even come close to that price.
Right.
We're
Sanders.
in a good situation where the vendors that we work with and the relationships we have always been good. But you could get in an issue too where if you wanted to get away from a vendor, you can't beat their pricing that they can get from the manufacturer.
Have we done business with this bidder before?
Yes.
And we're
It's-
satisfied with that?
Yes. It's who we've purchased the other panels from in the past. That included some for Guy Berry on that same grant. So,
Time frame on delivery?
they're pretty quick. We're actually hoping probably to have them in before school's out, and in the classrooms, do some little bit of training and stuff on them.
What's the install time on something like that?
We can put them together because they go on a mobile stand, so they can be moved around the room.
Okay, so they're
which
not-
is-
they're not
right, they're not
specifically
fixed on the
fixed.
wall. We can put one together, two of us, in about an hour. So that's unboxing the panel, putting the stand together, mounting it, and then, putting it in the classroom.
So I shouldn't have an issue having these ready for the start of school next
Oh,
year?
no. We hope to have them in this year, and we're starting to have some projectors die here and there, so this will actually recoup 26 projectors for us that we can distribute and use in other areas, try to reclaim that equipment, use that down the road too. So,
Could we use students to build these and get their service hours that the LEARNS Act is requiring?
I don't see why not.
Since this is not,
I mean, it-
medical. or-
Right, we actually have quite a few ideas in the pipe for the next couple of months that we need some help with.
Okay.
That we can utilize just one student or two students doing a process for
Right.
X amount of hours, 10, 20 hours, and complete it.
Right, little buy-in factor too.
Fulfill their
Right,
requirement
yeah.
and learn something at the same time.
Right, and then they have buy-in,
Mhm.
they built it.
We need screens parted out of Chromebooks, we need
Mhm.
certain things put together, we need, certain things taken apart for scrap, so, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Very good.
So, I did a lot of thinking about this today and last night, and I may be the outlier in my opinion here, but, so I'm gonna talk for a few minutes and hopefully be coherent. This board has talked on several occasions about whether we embrace technology, whether we try to move away from technology, what's helping the final product. We discussed last night where ASU students from around the country are struggling to write sentences, put together complete thoughts. And so we've had this discussion on, hey, technology or not. The price on these, it's significant, about $3,000 a screen. And you go, okay, $77,000. These are Title I funds. These aren't grant money. Title I, we can use these, and we can use this in other places perhaps. But it goes more to the, hey, do we want to use the technology or not? Because when you go down this route, right, once you buy these things, we kind of need to keep buying them, right? And does that help the end product, right? We talked last night, hey, in the 1950s, where was reading level set, right? We've gone from chalk and chalkboards to, whiteboards to smart boards and now touch screens, et cetera. Has our product gotten any better? Has the end product? And no, the trends across the country we're still declining. You can make the argument that this technology is actually not going to help our students learn any better, help them graduate, be better to go into the workforce, better to go into higher education, right? It's going to be certainly more convenient for our teachers to put it up on the screen, grab it, move it, certainly easier for the students, but maybe are we making it too easy, right? Maybe we need to get back and, I don't know, so that's the bigger picture. Hey, do we want to go down this route with this technology? Because you buy these screens in the middle of the year, the backlight burns out of it, or it has some kind of internal failure that's not repairable. You're going to tell that teacher in the middle of the school year, sorry, you got to do without it now, even though you've built your lessons plans. No, we'll probably go buy another one for that teacher to finish out the year. So this will be a continuing purchase. When you go that route, you've got to do it. We bought Chromebooks. We went to that. We have to continually buy Chromebooks and notebooks. So we just need to think about it. Once we buy these and start sticking them in classrooms, we kind of have to maintain that. And I don't know what that's ultimately getting us, right? So is that a good use of Title I funds? And I'm certainly not the expert. I know Title I's, we can use it on a number of different things. Typically, when you come to the board and say, hey, I need this to do the job you've hired me to do, I trust you, right? I respect you, and we give you that, hey, all right, you say you need it, let's do it. I think it's okay to disagree, though, too, sometimes. To say, hey, I don't know if I think this is the right direction that we should be going, dumping more money. I mean, $77,000 is, you can pay
Not
staff
this
and paras and all this stuff with Title I funds, is that correct?
But not this year.
But not,
These are this year's funds. You have a certain allocation each year, and you can only have a certain amount of carryover.
okay.
So these are this year's funds.
So we're basically use this or lose it again, is that
You
correct?
have to, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, what's our Title I
We can
carryover?
only carry over 15%.
But once again, it's going to be an ongoing commitment to using these smart boards.
Something to think about, though.
And we will continue to expand
I think
this.
before you start just instantly cutting and saying, oh, we're gonna go a different route, you gotta have a long-range plan. This year we may, let's look at this and bring in some traditional, I don't think you can go cold turkey, no technology.
Well, sure, no.
So, before I said no to this, I would, if this is what's needed and it's gonna
Well,
help
this
some
is kind of
projectors.
this is kind of like the last step trial run, like not implement them district-wide, not even have a 5-year plan or anything for that, but let's get some out there, math and science, get the neighboring teachers using them, kind of, see, and if they don't really do the job, then maybe we stay with projectors. We just do the projectors and the normal screen. If this really takes off, then it's something we can build a plan towards and even come back with more input or teachers to testify or whatever. At Guy Berry, they've seemed to do really good, and we've learned some stuff even since the 10 that we rolled out there that we're going to do differently on these, and so it is still a trial run. In a sense, it's just a larger one to kind of get them out there and see, and we've started putting some in some of the elementary libraries to kind of let people see. And when we bought projectors 7 years ago, we paid about $700 a projector. We're at $1,200 to $1,300 a projector now, so, which is odd. And when we bought projectors, these were $6,000 to $7,000 a piece. So the gap's closed. So it's kind of just, it's an option, it's a tool for the teacher to kind of see, hey, maybe this will interact with the student more of getting up out of the chair and coming to the front to do stuff. I mean,
So you'll take the projectors that are in these rooms and you're going to use those in classrooms that either need a new projector or don't have a
Right, or need
projector
upgrades
working.
or whatever,
So we're
yeah.
going to do some switching.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure that 30, 40 years ago that there was a board sitting around going, a chalkboard costs how much? And we need how many of them? And how does that benefit education? It's just the tools are changing.
And there's a lot of schools that are going this route, and I mean, it's something we talked about. If we build a new school, would we go projectors? Would we go panels mounted on the wall? What's nice, and if y'all remember the projector screen and versus the TVs here, they are clear.
There's no shadows.
The size isn't too much smaller compared to like a 100-inch screen.
There's sound built in.
But they are easier to see. You can see them a little bit further away. So there's some benefits, but and these and that's one reason we stayed with Promethean is it's a 5-year warranty. It's on site. They come fix it. We don't have to try to ship back a 400-pound TV. And these, I mean, you can pick that chair up and throw it at the screen and it won't break.
Please do not even mention
it's-
that.
I would like
It's
that
amazingly,
demonstration.
sturdy. And that's kind of one reason
Is that covered under
we wanted to
warranty?
roll
Not
that
sure
and got
if it
buried
is.
was let's put them, maybe a little bit of, touchier environment and, but.
Steve, do the teachers know? Do they have any idea that you're bringing this today? Are they excited? Have you had requests from
I have
Math and
talked to quite a
Science?
few of them. We did not do
Like
a big, wide survey or even really talk on tech committee type stuff, but I've talked to several of Math and Science and they are very excited. And we ordered one for a high school math teacher that was actually still using, I don't even know how it was working, but it was one of the old boards, old interactive boards, and just, I mean, he
Pencil
uses
paper.
it every day. And to upgrade him to this, and his old one was like maybe 40 inches diagonal. This was an 85, so it was, he loves it, so.
Are there any other, like, do you need to purchase software for the computer to display on this? It's basically a one-to-one replacement of a projector?
It is.
So-
We'll actually take the Apple TV off the projector and put it on the back of this, so the teacher can still AirPlay to the board. If they want interactive, they will actually plug in. So if they still want to sit at their desk and just display, a document that the students are going to look at that they're not going to interact with, they can still do that wirelessly. But if they want to really get involved in, like the one teacher at the high school does, he'll plug in and then it's fully, he can control everything on his computer, open tabs, do stuff, pull stuff up, annotate over everything. So yeah, they're pretty slick.
Okay.
Well, this probably doesn't get us any closer to an answer, but I'm gonna say it anyway. After I left last night, we legitimately talked and discussed and how do we get our students to read better and write better and all that. But it dawned on me when I was in school, we got in trouble for writing notes. Today, if you were texting in class, you would get in trouble. Yet we're sitting here trying to figure out how to teach them to do the very things that we don't want them to do. I mean, don't be texting.
I think we're trying to.
I don't agree with that, but.
Well,
try to show them how to utilize the technology properly in a certain
I'm not
atmosphere.
saying we don't need discipline and don't have that, but we need to, it's different for everybody.
Mhm.
Some people will relate to this. I would much rather if I was gonna read a book or maybe look at paper, or
Maybe if we had an actual display or somebody can show what this is, that might help you understand that it's total interaction in the classroom. The kids get up and they touch, and so they're not sitting there.
Plus they could write on it.
And I'm not a Luddite that's like no technology at all. Right? We
Right.
have that, in the aviation industry, right? I've mentioned that before, where people you need to use the old whiz wheel and this weird calculator, hand calculator to figure out when's aloft. And when I've got 4 different instruments right there that'll tell me instantly that's electronic, right? So why are we doing it this old way? So I understand we have to keep up with technology, but I also say, I don't know what this is really gonna buy. How is that gonna help the end product? And I'm not saying we need to go back to chalkboards and chalk, but I mean, that's a big chunk of dollars that we need to maintain. We're gonna continue buying as we go down that rabbit hole. So I'm still, and nothing wrong for supporting it, I'm still convinced that that's the route that we need to go. That's gonna do best for our students, which is of course what we're all trying to do. What's the final end product that we're trying to do, so.
And that's great input.
I have seen those boards up and being used in some of the places that I go as far as businesses and corporations, so you're gonna see that technology if they leave here anyways. So
Mhm.
they need to learn how to use that. Else if
College.
they're writing with the pencil, the people are looking at them like they're crazy. I mean,
And they won't get
I wish
hired.
they would all write, but I mean, if they can write on the board and they know how it all works and how it functions, and if they can pull up something very quick this way and save the corporation money by just doing that, it's gonna be utilized.
Well, and like I said, I mean, this is just kind of a bigger sample. I mean, compared to the amount of classrooms we have, I think it will give us some really good data. And it may only work for math and science. It may not work for math, but it works great for science. I mean, and a lot of it's, training and how to utilize it also. So that's going to be the second part of it.
And that is why we vote. So, Any other discussion? All in favor? One opposed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 1 against. Thank you,
All right, thank you.
Steve.
Thank you. Thanks.
Passes. All right, Mr. Knight, request to approve high school counselor HVAC replacement.
All right, so we're going into a few of these things we talked about last night, so I'll be bringing. This one is for the 3 AC units that are in the big top above the counselor's office. Right now they're dripping water. They've rusted out, and
Nice. Fall through
the
this.
fixes were.
That's the old library.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
You're dating
Yes.
yourself.
I'm sorry. Like,
No, that's
wait
the
a
old
second,
courtyard.
The big top
Yeah, the
doesn't
old
cover
courtyard.
that office.
Yes, keep going, yeah.
Okay.
The courtyard. I guess for me, it was lockers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So not only are we going to replace those, we're going to move them around a little bit so that they're right now where they were originally placed. They're terrible to try to repair. It's also one of the problems. So we had 2 bidders on that, and I'm recommending the board approve bidder number 2 at a cost of $35,412.72.
I'll make a motion, replace and move as written.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Budgeted item.
You know, all of these, save you some time, they're all building fund.
All right.
We've
Any
done
other?
business with this bidder.
Yes. Local.
When are you expecting?
I don't think this will take very long.
Okay, it's not
I
something,
don't know if we'll get them, I bet we'll get them before school starts. Hopefully before the first of the heat shows up. They
Yes.
are kind of working, so it's just that.
they'll get through the end of the school year. Okay. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Mr. Knight, request to approve summer parking lot sealing and striping.
So originally, like I said last night, I put out, we're starting the new rotation. We're getting these, keeping our parking lots up in good condition. I originally also bid out Guy Berry, so if you were to click on this bid, you would see Guy Berry on there, and I went ahead and pulled it, because I just think that would be a waste of money.
Yes.
If they have a problem with it, with stripes, we can at least go stripe it for them, save quite a bit of money, and then look at replacing that when it finally just deteriorates. We only had 1 bidder. This is the same thing as last year. I think Jason, you asked me, why do we only have 1 bidder? There's only a couple companies that we've dealt with that we really like dealing with. Those are the ones I reach out to the most. We did put it online, and then, because of the bonds, it's harder.
So these 2 prices are,
Okay, so there's dual prices?
Yes.
Okay, so this bidder likes to bid it in 2 ways. One is to spray it, or one is to broom it. And
Okay.
the broom is more expensive. I have yet to find anybody that can tell me that one is better than the other, and anybody who would have ever bid against them would have sprayed it, not broomed it, so
okay.
we're gonna spray it.
Okay.
Sorry, so I'm recommending the board approve that bidder at $53,600.
I recommend, or make a motion that we approve the Summit parking lot sealing and striping as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
These are important to maintain.
Very,
This is
as we can
maintenance.
see with Guy Berry.
If we don't maintain it, it costs more in the long run, so this is not, we discussed it last night, these aren't an option, is what we gotta do.
I mean, it's something you could kick down the road, but then we'd end up like at Pinkston, we had to rip all that.
Or Guy Berry.
I mean, you're eventually gonna have to resurface them anyway, but this'll.
Yeah.
For sure.
And with the new laws of the city with the retaining ponds.
That
and-
shouldn't matter if we're just resurfacing what we already have.
That's good. Well, I mean, if we don't maintain and we let it go.
That's true. If we have to
Then
come
we
in
have
and do
to-
a big one. And I will say, like, next year will be junior high. That one is probably gonna cost more than
Mhm.
all of these. That was that large parking lot with all the, the football field, all
Right.
the band and stuff. That was one of the first things we did. It's one of the most expensive. So.
And the point of this is to prevent water penetration, correct? So once water gets through that asphalt, starts getting driven over, you start getting that pothole and it grows, and then it's gonna look like the Nelson
Berry.
Brothers turnaround.
So what- Yeah,
It's
Nelson.
not really functional, so this is a maintenance thing. You gotta do it.
All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, Mr. Knight, request to approve high school cafeteria floor polishing.
So we're wanting to go in and fix up the high school cafeteria. You know, we're hoping to bring you tables too eventually. One of the nice steps, if you've gone into the high school, you notice that everything in that building is polished. Almost everything in that building is polished. The cafeteria is not done yet. So we'd like to pull that tile up. We checked it. There's no asbestos in it, so there's no abatement needed.
That's good.
That is probably like almost 9,000 square feet. Is probably actually more than we have done on our own in all the hallways. So it's going to be too much for our guys to get done during the summer. So I priced, I had the, went and advertised that. So that's going to be for taking the tile up, polishing, and I did ask for the polishing to match ours, which means we go down farther on the aggregate. I don't know if you've noticed, but you can see like the little stones in it.
Mhm.
That's extra to do that. And then to replace the cove base, which is the plastic trim around the bottom. And we had one bidder for that.
Crazy, nobody wants to work.
And I'm recommending that you approve that cost at $50,110.76.
Make a motion, we accept the recommendation as presented.
Jason and Molly, discussion?
Is that a local bidder?
It is.
Oh, good.
The only other company that I know that can do that without equipment inside of Jonesboro, and I don't think it was big enough for them to.
Like the project wasn't big enough?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like when
wow.
you have to start driving
Okay.
in and out and.
Is it cheaper to tile it, or is it cheaper?
Cheaper to do this.
That's what I thought. Okay, just want to make that
Yeah,
clear.
it's gonna be cheaper to do this, and more importantly, we're not stripping that and waxing that anymore. I wish that it would be amazing what we could do with our custodians during the summer.
Yeah.
If we did not have to.
They can mow. Weed eat, mow.
Yeah, paint, we could do.
Put those boards
We could
together.
do all kinds of stuff, and, I mean, I know that's kind of the general plan, but when you look at what we have using equipment to do it ourselves, I don't know if we would get the school done in 50 years, you know?
Hmm.
So.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, as Tom comes up here, I want to brag on him for a second.
Okay.
Because I know he's going to brag on his people.
Okay.
And this really excites me. And
Yes.
without his creativity and hard work and his people's hard work, we wouldn't even be here asking for this. So thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. I'm a little wired. I came from the soccer games.
Woohoo!
I was coaching, so bear with me. In my first year as food, I'm going to step back because I'm really loud. As food service supervisor, my first meeting with my people, I challenged all of them to be more creative with the food, look for ways that we can cut costs and ways that we can both drive adult meals and get more kids eating in school. Data has proven through time that the more kids eat and the more full their bellies are, the better their learning opportunities will be. And so far this year, we've achieved all of those things through beginning a la carte at some of the upper grade areas. That's a cash only thing. We have moved man hours around, so we have kitchens operating with far less man hours than they should. And we've not eliminated some of the positions, but we've had open positions and subs as opposed to permanent employees all the time. We're being a bit more selective with who we bring in. And I've asked them to cook more from scratch. So as opposed to heat and eat things where you're opening a bag and you're baking it off, be creative with the foods that we're doing, which is why we've brought orange chicken in, chicken fried rice, bombers, which the kids now know what they are and enjoy. And all of that is because when you ask people to do things in your first year, it can go one of two ways. They can look at you and say no, or as these women have done, and Roberta, they smile and they have taken on the challenge head on. We have representatives from a lot of the kitchens here with us. Hackler in particular, I just want to draw attention to, we did a sunflower seed butter and jelly sandwich this year. They decided to make it into an Uncrustable because that's what kids know.
Yeah.
So they made 575 sandwiches.
Holy smokes.
With one Uncrustable maker.
Wow.
and taking all the crust off, they turn that into a French toast casserole
Nice.
for breakfast the next day. So our breakfast the next day was zero cost to us. That's the kind of thing that I've asked for. That's the kind of thing that they are breaking up. It's not even me asking anymore. They are now just doing these things. Because of Pam and her hard work in the previous years, bringing us out of the red and into the black, we're in a much better position as a department. And so my recommendation is that we offer our food service workers in each of the kitchens a $500 bonus for their hard work. I believe investing in people is one of the most important things, and if we want to continue growing and moving in the right direction as a department with these fine folks, I think investing in them would be the best decision.
Absolutely. Very good.
I'm ready for lively discussion. That's my recommendation.
I would love for you to introduce who's here.
We have Joyce Mackey. She's over at Hackler. She's filling in a 3-hour position. She comes in when everyone else goes to break, and she takes care of all the rest of the finish. So you'll go into Hackler, see the other ladies out of break, and she's the one working. But
Very
that's
good.
because that's her hours. We have Stacy here. She's also at Hackler. Main cook. Jody back here is at PMS Pinkston. Sorry.
PMS.
We got to talk in shorts. We have a little
Yeah.
talk a lot.
Yeah.
Jody is the baker over there.
Yeah.
We've been charged in doing bombers this year, which is taking
Yeah.
a 2-ounce dough and filling it with some sort of yummy
Fun.
substance.
Yeah.
And we had to do a training to teach everyone how to do it, and she's grabbed on really well. Leslie over here is our manager at Hackler. Diane, she's brought a really fun environment. Last year I was the warehouse driver, and that was a miserable place to go. This year it is super fun and fantastic, and that is due to Leslie coming in. Diana, right next to her, is over at Pinkston as well. She's one of our real new employees. She's got a great future here. We're actually sending her to manager training this
Great.
summer.
Great.
She wants to be here and wants to learn and do things, which is fantastic. Elizabeth, up front here, we call her Spoons. She is our longest tenured food service worker.
Wow.
She's been here a long time and wants to be here even longer.
Great.
And Amy Welch next to us, she's been a great part of our team. Next year she'll be a para.
Wow,
So we're
great.
sad to leave her. We're sad to see her go, but we're happy that she will continue being with us.
That's a nice move.
And I think that's everyone.
Thank you so much for all you do, because, without the good meals, our kids cannot learn. And I've seen the food change the 16 years I've been here on the board. We're there. We're there, and it's wonderful to see how you treat the kids when they come through the line. And
We appreciate you guys coming and eating in the kitchens.
I love that.
And we really appreciated Scott Booth spending an entire day in the junior high from open to close and dealing with Roberto and that place is.
It was my pleasure.
Junior high has been one of our test kitchens where we've rolled a lot of new things out. They were one of the first to do a la carte. He is a very creative individual over there.
Mhm.
They do the same sort of things that high school does in about a third of the space. So that's really impressive what they pull out of that area.
Great. You're doing great things, and I appreciate you. We do. Thank you. Okay. We need a motion. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, I hope.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Thank you.
23-24 food service bonus as presented by Mr. Mary.
Second.
Thank you, Jason. Any discussion on that?
I will enthusiastically support this.
Yes.
Having spent that day over there at the junior high, our food service folks, they need more than $500,
Yes.
right? And to be clear, these funds are coming from the a la carte sales that we made. So, I mean, this is because they did the extra work running
Mhm.
basically a concession, that they're getting the results of that back. So,
Yeah.
And I want to point out that's only been going on for half the year. We didn't roll out a la carte until January.
Great.
We have a 22% uptick in adult meals, and this year alone, we've gone from 25,000 in the entirety of last year to we're close to 35,000. It's still a month ago.
So more parents are coming.
More teachers.
Oh,
are, I
teachers.
think,
Oh,
enjoying the
nice.
food,
You
or
need
at
the
least
food
they're,
because
at
it's
least
that
they're
good.
eating our food.
That's pretty good.
At least they're buying.
Yeah. A la carte with just starting with smart snacks. Next year, the plan is to roll more hot food into things, open it for the entirety of lunch as opposed to the last 10 minutes. We do a $200 investment at the beginning of each week, and at the end of the week, we have about $1,000 in sales. So it's a pretty good return.
That is.
And I think next year, with more going into it, we'll be in a much better place. We are looking at putting some new equipment in, but it'll be donated to us because of contracts that we'll sign with soft pretzel vendors and those kinds of things. So.
That's better than a money market. Pretty good. All right. Okay, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you so much for all you do, all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have a constituent request to address the board. Mr. Myers?
Thank you, Allison and the board, for allowing me to speak today. I'll keep this very short. I know I have my 5 minutes, but it won't take that long. In light of some other circumstances, I sent Allison an email, and I copied 2 other folks on it. You may not be in receipt of it. I'll be happy to visit with you after the break, before you go into executive session, and confirm that. I can provide copies so that you can provide the new board members and all the existing board members that document. That should form a basis for the reason I'm here, and I'm not going to go into any more details on that at this time. You're generally aware of what it involves, and I'll leave it at that. So if there are questions, comments, I would expect that they would come only after they've taken a look at this document. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. We will now move on to board discussion. That'd be you, ma'am. Oh, no? Oh, we're the board. Oh, that's right.
Board discussion.
We'll play board
What
tonight.
about discussioned out from last
We
year?
are discussioned out.
I kept y'all busy.
I think this was a great interactive meeting. We did good. I like that.
Following from last night. Last night was
Yeah.
a good discussion.
Yes.
So,
You have anything since you're the newbie?
I feel like I have been initiated.
Yes. Yes, you have. And you get an actual meal tonight.
I was fine with pizza.
Yeah.
That's
No,
fine.
Nobody's fine, no.
Okay, so superintendent's update.
Yes, we're very, very busy around here, as you all know, this time of year. Music programs, C3 graduation, which is what we refer to our DARE program. It's a kind of an offshoot of that through our city police. Band competitions, music programs, athletic events. I've been getting my updates on the MH app through the meeting, and looks like we've won 2 varsity, a baseball game in Huntsville and a softball game in Wynn, just while we've been sitting here. So, end of year testing season. Here we are. I have been hearing some fantastic news from some K2 teachers already. So I look forward to us bringing that information to you all, those final results, in the next few weeks. April 23rd. April 23rd is School Bus Driver Day.
Oh.
National School Bus Driver Day. A special shout out to those folks. You know, we gave a nice shout out to our food service, but just a reminder that on the 23rd, that is National School Board
Bus transportation.
School Bus Driver Day. We'll be having a breakfast for those folks, I think, maybe a week from now, a week later, because their transportation manager is cooking breakfast for them that day.
Wow.
So we're not gonna, we'll go visit, but we're gonna let him cook on that day, and we'll show up a week later with some goodies as well. In the next few weeks, as we talked about last night, our strategic plan will begin to take shape. Thank you to our community who completed that survey, and to the board for your work last night. Keep looking at that district calendar for opportunities to support our kids every night.
Every day there is something.
It's picking up 2 and 3 events a day. On May 7th, that is the Joint Leadership Conference, ASBA and AAEA. It is in Little Rock. I believe Mr. Booth is going to attend in person. If any of you all want the Zoom link or want to attend, I believe Ms. Kelly made a copy and left it for you today, but you can have the Zoom link as well. On June 20th, ASBA will have the new board member training in Hot Springs. I'm certain that any of you are welcome to come, but Miss Morgan, that's something that you can attend. That is also a Zoom option, and we can visit about ways that you and I can both participate in that at least. May 6th at 10:45, we will be enjoying lunch at the kindergarten. That'll be one of our presentations, lunch meetings.
That's the best one.
At the
ever.
kindergarten,
Yep.
May 6th.
That's the best.
We'll start at 10:45. I'll send you an email with a reminder. Lunch, presentation, seeing what's going on over at the kinders, with our kinders. I appreciate y'all.
And we were given, from Mr. Chamberlain,
Yes, ma'am.
some stuff we worked on last night, so everybody's got a copy to take home and study, and our leadership ASBA. Okay, anything else? We will adjourn for executive session to talk about personnel.
Okay.